Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's class on how to release and reprogram your limiting subconscious beliefs to achieve your goals now. This is Becca Armstrong, and I'm going to be your host today. I see we have a lot of people that are logging in. Welcome. We are so glad that you're joining us here today for this class. It is a class, it is a training. So if you have the opportunity while everyone is logging in and logging on to today's webinar site, please go ahead and have something to write with, write on piece of paper, a pen or pencil. That will certainly serve you. If you have any questions as we move through today's class, feel free to post that question in the chat window. And we'll answer those at the end of today's call if we haven't already answered them throughout the presentation. So again, we're so glad that you're here. We're going to get started in a minute, 1 minute by my clock, which will put it at 12:02 here in our Mountain Time Zone. Just to give everybody who's still logging in a chance to come on in and get prepared. Hello, everyone. This is Becca Armstrong, and I'm going to be your presenter, host, and trainer here today. We're going to be starting in just about 30 seconds, but I wanted to welcome you all to the line. We still see that a lot of people are logging in and coming on, so we want to give everyone a chance to get settled before we begin. We're going to be covering a lot of tremendous information, resources here with you today, so we encourage you to have something to write with and write on so that you can capture the information that I'm going to be sharing in a few moments. So we'll get started in just a few seconds. Now is a great time to grab a piece of paper and something to write with, as well as anything for your comfort. I also encourage you to turn off cell phones and email, close everything down, because the information that we're going to go through today, what we're going to be studying here together, has transformed my life, my clients' lives, family members' lives. Everyone who's had the opportunity to experience these resources has been transformed by them. And I really want you to receive the most from your experience here today. Hello, this is Becca Armstrong, and I want to officially and formally welcome you to today's training and class. Now, we have two titles that are floating with this class. One is how to reprogram your subconscious mind and achieve your results. The other one you can see on your screen, which is how to release your limiting subconscious programs and achieve your goals now. So if you are here for either one of those titled trainings, we have recently updated and combined them, so you are in the right place. Now, before I share a bit about me, I want to make sure in a thorough way that you have come to the right place. So if you are someone who has a desire, has a goal, has a vision for your life, and you have not yet achieved it, congratulations, you have come to the right place. If you have embarked upon self-study, if you have gone through programs or a program or are currently going through a program, if you have worked with other providers, therapists, coaches, other people to help guide you in the achievement of your goals, and you have not yet achieved them fully, you are in the right place. If you are someone who knows that there is something great that is destined for you and you are not sure what it is or how to go about it, you are in the right place. If you are skeptical, if you are worried, if you are perhaps afraid that what I'm going to share with you won't work, that nothing you do will actually produce your outcomes, that you are going to perpetually be pursuing your results and your goals and you're never going to achieve them, if that is a worry, doubt, or fear that you have come to the right place. If you feel like you are right on the threshold of your results and you cannot seem to figure out what will push the tipping point and get you over that threshold into your success, you have come to the right place. And I'm going to share with you information that has been absolutely impactful, powerful, and transformational for everyone that not only that I've shared it with, but that has really taken it the necessary next step, which is to apply it, to live it, to breathe it, to put it into practice. It's just been powerful, transformational. And I can say that for each member of my family as well. This is something that we practice within our family, something that I practice in my own life. I have two daughters, a 9-year-old and a 14-year-old, and a wonderful husband. And we have applied what I'm going to share with you today. We apply it on a regular basis, almost like we would brush our teeth. So, everybody has these resources and tools. And just like our toothbrush is a wonderful tool for the care of our mouth, these resources are wonderful care for a life that we love. So let me share a little bit more about myself and the professional tool bag that I'm bringing to you for you and your success today, because that's what this is all about: your success, your fulfillment, your well-being. Well, I'm going to run through this rapidly, but I want to share this information with you because this information and my resources that are in my tool bag have been building over the past 17 years and counting. I've been studying personal transformation, psychology, you name it, universal laws and principles, really what it is required to create and achieve a state of wealth and well-being. And I've been studying it for well over 30 years, and I've been in private practice for now over 17 years. I'm a psychotherapist and transformational specialist, and I've come to call myself a transformational specialist because really what it is that happens for people that I'm so blessed to work with, because I consider it a blessing to work with anyone that I do work with and they experience a transformation in their life. So that might be a child, a teenager, that might be a couple, that might be an adult, that might be a group, that might be a business, that might be a Fortune 500 company, that might be a person in leadership, that might be a coach, consultant, or therapist in the building of their business, or an entrepreneur. So really the gist of what I do is help people transform their life. I've helped more than 5,000 clients and people, as well as companies globally, achieve their personal and professional goals. I've had the very profound pleasure of training and certifying over 3,000 coaches in more than 130 countries. Worked with individuals as well as Fortune 500 companies, as I just mentioned. I had the joy and tremendous fun of working side by side with Bob Proctor, who you might know from the movie The Secret, as his executive director. I helped to develop and build his online coach certification programs, and then worked with him in his Bob Proctor coaching program, Matrix program, and several others, working hands-on with his participating clients and speaking on stage with him. I've built multiple online schools for, as I mentioned, Bob Proctor, Marsha Weeder, who is the owner of Dream University, the Y Institute, and many, many more. My training and background, and I wanted to keep the list short, but this is the list that applies to you because I'm bringing these resources to you today, which is training in cognitive behavioral psychotherapy and psychology, EFT, EMDR, Psych-K, NLP, hypnotherapy, life coaching, business coaching, dream coaching, purpose work, and business development and strategic growth. And in most of these areas, I've reached master level or above. I enjoy speaking and training people in all different demographics throughout the world, and it is a profound pleasure to be connecting with you here today. This is my mission and my purpose. What I'm going to share with you today, I just want to make sure that everybody understands this so that you can take action, you can apply this to your life, and you can finally receive and achieve the results you desire, because honestly, it is who you are, it's what you're designed to do, and you have the capacity to achieve it. And it's likely going to be easier than anything you've done up until this moment. So Let's begin with a general question. Have you ever wondered why it is that some people achieve results? They achieve what they want fast, easy, abundantly, and others, perhaps even yourself, struggle and achieve their goals slowly, if ever. Well, I want to show you, and please allow me to show you why this is and how you can actually change your experience and you can change your results in minutes. Now, this is a stick person, as we call this figure. This is stick person who, this figure was actually created by Dr. Thurman Fleet in the 1930s. He was a chiropractor who began to really become clear about the mind-body relationship and the connection between mind, body, and spirit. And his awareness, he brought his awareness to his chiropractic practice and helped tremendous numbers of people who thought it might be impossible to heal. So this is a really wonderful diagram and a resource that we're going to use that we call the stick person. So imagine that the larger circle, which is on top, is your mind, and the smaller circle, just for demonstration purpose, is your body. You'll see at the top of the head, there are these little nubs, and those are your sensory antennae. So those are the parts of you that reach out into your environment and your atmosphere and bring information in. The lightning bolts that are in yellow above the stick person represent information and sensation, anything that's coming in and bombarding you from your environment. And really, you're being stimulated from your environment on a regular basis. Now, how do you become aware of what is in your environment? Well, your sensory devices, your antennae, pick up things like taste, and you have an experience of taste. You have an experience of touch. You have an experience of smell. You often hear things, and you're able to see things. So these are our 5 senses that reach out into the environment and pull the information or allow the information to transfer in. Now, how do we bring it in? What faculties do we bring it through? Well, we bring it through our thinking. We think about what we're tasting, touching, smelling, hearing, or seeing. We also have an emotional response. And when we combine and connect our emotions and our thoughts together, we have a felt sense throughout our entire body. Now, what we think about, we feel, and what we have a felt sense with moves through us oftentimes into action and then our results. Now, this is a general process, so let's look at what happens at a mind level while we're being stimulated from our environment. We have 2 parts of our mind. We have our conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Now, most of us have been taught that our mind is located in our head, and to be specific, in our brain. We actually know that that is not true, and that the subconscious mind, through research, has been identified to exist not only in your mind, in your brain, but throughout your entire body. It's also recently been studied, and HeartMath has done a lot of work to identify that our subconscious mind actually can be measured and picked up, so it can be identified in a field around us. HeartMath has actually shared studies that they've done, as well as other organizations that have mapped our subconscious field out about 50 feet from our body. They suspect that the field is actually larger, that it has a greater distance. They just don't have instrument devices that can measure it beyond the 50 feet. So their speculation is, as their instruments improve, they'll actually be able to measure the subtleties of this field at a greater distance. So the key thing to take away from what we're talking about now is your mind is not located in your body. It is expressed in parts of your body and involves your mind. It also involves, or your brain rather, it involves your heart, and it can be measured and exists in a field around you. Now, all of this information that's coming in through you, again, moves through conscious, subconscious, into action, and then into results. But we're going to break this down in the next few minutes so that you can really understand not only what's going on in relationship to your goals, but how you can release limitations, reprogram blocks, and move into alignment so that what you want is something that you can actually receive. So let's start by studying the mind together. The first part of the mind is your conscious mind. Let's talk about your conscious mind. Now, your conscious mind is the creative part of your mind. So you have two minds, conscious and subconscious, and your conscious mind is the creative faculty. It is the imaginative part of your mind. Now, a lot of people misunderstand this, and it's a really beautiful moment for us to clarify together. Your conscious mind can originate an idea. Simply, right here, right now, think about something you want, something that matters to you. Now, it may not be in your life, so what are you using right now on demand to conjure up that image? Your creative mind is your conscious mind. You're right here in this moment, and you're calling yourself to imagine something you want. So that's your conscious mind, and it's the creative faculty. Now, your mind just originated that new idea. If it isn't something that exists in your life or has been existing in your life, then it's something new, something that you want, something that has not yet become a reality or a physical experience in your life yet. So your conscious mind is the part of you that originates the new idea. It is the part of you that connects with the feeling of desire, and really that sparking moment where you say, oh my goodness, I want that. That moment actually happens in your conscious mind. It can feel like a light bolt. It can feel like a light bulb. The idea goes off and it's inspired within you. And so that part of us that is instantaneously, spontaneously sparked in desire is actually part of our conscious mind faculties. Now, again, I know that you may have been educated differently. I even know a previous version of a stick person presentation that taught almost the exact opposite. But really, it's important for what I'm going to share with you that will help you release and remove blocks to understand your conscious mind is the part of you that can reach out into the future. It is the part of you that can reach out into the past. And it's the time traveling, imaginative, creative part of you. Now, it appears that it makes decisions, but it is not the part of you that actualizes the decision and mobilizes it within you. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. So it can feel like you've made a decision because you desire something, you want it, and you're inspired with it. But that is coming consciously, and that is not the part of you that actually makes the decision. Your conscious mind also learns really, really, really fast. I'm going to go through this information today, and your conscious mind will say, oh, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Got it. And that's my intention, is to share this with you in a way that really clicks and makes sense. Now, if you have any questions as we go along, please go to the chat box, post your question in, and then if I haven't answered it throughout our presentation today, we will go in ahead and make sure that we get that answered at the end of today's session. So your conscious mind learns fast. It picks up information. It says, yes, I got it. But it is not the part of you that actually governs your behavior and your actions. So while you can learn something consciously very quickly, it doesn't mean that it translates into habit, pattern, and action in your life. Your conscious mind can also change things fast. It can make fast changes. You can go from selecting one thought to selecting a different thought. Selecting a different thought. So you can make changes very quickly, consciously, but it doesn't mean that it will be continuously. So you can change things fast, but it doesn't mean the consistency and the continuity will be there. Your conscious mind practices and processes information at 2,000 bits of information per second. And it has a speed impulse transfer rate. So that means that it's transferring the information as if it's driving at 100 or 150 miles an hour. So somewhere between 100 and 150 miles per hour, that's how fast information is being transferred by your conscious mind, which is phenomenal. Now, something to consider is that throughout our day, studies show that we are only consciously in the present, in the moment, consciously interacting with our day 5% of the time. So 5% of the time, we're actually consciously engaging our day. That means we're doing something else 95% of the time. So now that we've talked about this, the conscious mind, let's talk about the subconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious mind is the part of you that is subconscious. It's outside of your conscious awareness. It is also likened to an iceberg where you see the tip and you think, wow, that's really huge. But the vast majority of an iceberg is subsurface. It's below the surface. So just like the iceberg, you are magnificent, and what you can see is dynamic and magnificent. However, the majority of you is going on subsurface level, subconscious. Now, your subconscious mind is the habitual, systematic, and programmed part of your mind. It's the part of you that is automated. And this is really helpful because it allows you to do many, many things simultaneously. This is the part of you that learns slowly. You actually began building the programs and the coding systems of your subconscious mind before birth. Sometime during the time of while you were in utero, and you were growing in your mom's womb, you began to develop your subconscious mind. And it was developed through stimulation, repeated stimulation, and emotional influence and impact. Now you might say, how does a baby in utero have that? Well, you're being stimulated through your senses by your environment at all times. We know that babies start responding to sounds and activities in their environment at 5 months or earlier when they're in utero. So the information is coming in and your subconscious is responding by developing programs and encoding and recording everything that's happening repetitiously and with emotional substance. So this learning process completes itself at about 7 years old. It is when you shift from a theta brainwave, which is what you're continuously in up until around 7, and then you start to engage more rapid brainwaves, which are alpha and beta brainwaves. Now, the subconscious mind changes slowly. It learns slowly, so it's going to make changes slowly. And the way in which the subconscious makes changes is at the recording level, at the reprogramming level. So it makes changes when we engage in theta, so when we get back into the recording brainwave. It makes changes when we get into repetition. And we'll talk about this in just a few minutes as well. It also has the capacity to make changes through very specific processes that are offered by energy psychology and super learning that allow us to get in at the subconscious level and push the record button so you can re-record, rewire, or reprogram what no longer serves your highest good. The subconscious processes information at 400 billion bits of information per second. Now, just to give you some information, back 17, 18, probably 20 years ago, the number rate of processing was 4 billion. And it was 4 billion because that's what they could measure. Now our measurement instruments have improved, and we can process, and we see 400 billion bits of information being processed at a subconscious level. That number is likely to go up as our measurement devices continue to improve. Our impulse rate, the speed of information transfer, actually travels at up to 100,000 miles per hour. Now, while the conscious mind transfers information at 100 to 150 miles per hour, think about the difference of speed and the way in which the information speed-wise can be conveyed when you increase it to 100,000 miles per hour. There's so much going on within our subconscious that our conscious mind simply cannot keep up with. And that's a really valuable piece of information when it comes to achieving your goal and saying, why is it I haven't achieved my goal yet? Because that question comes from the conscious mind. Now you are thinking 95% of your day through your subconscious faculties. Through your systemized, habitual, automated programs, your life is running through 95% of it is running through your subconscious. Now, what happens when you think during your 5% of the time? Well, the other day, my husband and I were driving, and we were running some errands, going to familiar places, and we were having a great conversation. My conscious mind was engaged in the conversation. I was focused entirely on what I was saying to my husband and what he was saying to me, and all of the fun that we were having and what we were consciously talking about and exploring. We pulled into our driveway, and I pulled around to back into our driveway, and I didn't remember the last several blocks driving down the street. Now, I was driving safely. I was driving in a very, very skilled way, and I got myself home. So I made the right decisions. However, consciously, I wasn't paying any attention. My attention was on my husband and our conversation. So what happened? My subconscious was driving. So while I was consciously focused somewhere else, I was in the conversation fully in my conscious mind with my husband, my subconscious took over and ran my life. Now, that's a very helpful thing. I'm really glad that my subconscious knew how to get us all home safely. This happens. So while we're consciously thinking, oftentimes we're out of our present moment and we're into whatever we're consciously thinking about. It could be your future. It could be your past. It could be something you want and you hope that, it happens soon, or it could be something that happened yesterday that wasn't that pleasant, or yesterday that happened that was very pleasant and something that you want more of. So your conscious mind leaves the present moment, and when it does, it takes your subconscious to step in to run the system. So actually, while we're consciously thinking, we're activating our subconscious to take over and run our lives at that moment. So really, it gets us into the predicament of most of the time we're 100% engaging our subconscious mind. Now, the other piece that I want to bring your attention back to the sensory, area, is that we're being bombarded by information all the time. But what we don't realize is that our senses and the parts of our mind that pick up at a subconscious level what information has come in and sorts it for us, labels it a priority, labels it a non-priority or unimportant, those receptor sites and those systems are actually part of our subconscious mind. So what is encoded in our subconscious program, our senses will pick up, and our mind will filter and say, yes, this matters. This is a priority. This is for me. If it is not a match to the subconscious program, our sensory devices, our receptor sites, will not pick it up or will filter it out. Our key filtration system within our mind happens within our limbic system, and it's called the reticular activating system. You don't have to remember that. I'm going to call it the RAS system for short, but it basically lets information in and we become aware of it and perceive it, or it filters it out and we never know it happened. So what does our subconscious mind govern? It governs our identity, and the information that we encode and bring in, part of our identity. It also governs our perception, what we see or what we don't. It governs and guides our awareness. Our subconscious mind is actually the part of our mind that makes the decision. I had the privilege of watching what's called a PET scan, and it allows us to see the brain light up when someone's making a decision. And something fascinating that the researchers did not anticipate occurred in a particular study. And this study basically was asking people to make a decision. And you can see, based on the decision that was being asked, what part of the brain lit up. Now, we're just focusing and talking about the brain. When we make a decision, other parts of our body also respond. But specifically, let's just talk about what happens in our brain. So let's say someone was asked to choose a green balloon or a left balloon, and the green balloon is on the right-hand side and the red balloon is on the left-hand side. If the person selects the red balloon on the left-hand side, the right part of the brain is going to light up and vice versa. So you can see basically if someone has to move the right side of our body, it's our left side that's giving that directive and vice versa. So what happened was when they presented a decision for someone to make, their mind lit up and showed that they had made a decision 6 to 7 seconds before the person was consciously aware that they had a decision to make. So not only did they not know they had a decision to make, it took them additional time to make the decision. So decisions were happening 6 to 7 seconds consistently outside of conscious awareness. That is all subconscious. So your decisions, whether you want them to be or not, they're always going to come from your subconscious. So what's programmed in your subconscious and the habits and patterns around decision making, that is important to know what it is, and then also to be able to rewire and reprogram it if your subconscious is currently programmed to make decisions that will take you away from your goal. Your subconscious also governs what you're able to focus on and give attention to. So have you ever been, at the beginning of your day and you have a plan to achieve your goal and off you go, and then boy, all of this stuff comes in and it distracts you and it pulls your attention, in one direction and then another direction. And then at the end of the day, you say, gosh, I didn't work on my goal at all. Well, that's coming from your subconscious. It also governs what you respond to or what you react to. And this is outside of what you desire. Remember, the desires, what you want, is maintained and governed by your conscious mind. So your responses and your reactions are going to always be subconscious. Your subconscious also governs the actions and your memories. Our memories are not objective. They are not recorded as if a video camera recorded them. They're recorded and stored based on how we thought, how we felt, and what we did in that moment. So they are all stored in harmony with what is encoded in our subconscious program. So two people can go through an experience, and one person will encode it in a way that, may feel like loss. And another person who has a different subconscious program will encode it as an experience that presented them a problem to solve and an opportunity. Same experience, but however the subconscious program is encoded will determine how it's remembered. Again, our subconscious governs our sensory devices and what we bring in and what we filter out. So, okay, now you know about your conscious mind. Now you know about your subconscious mind. So let's talk about how we generally make changes. And this is what got me stomping my feet as I was studying cognitive behavioral psychotherapy. As a student, I started saying, wait a minute, there's got to be something better. But let's start with how we usually approach this. And first of all, let's send any judgment or criticism out the door, and let's be curious with this. So if you say, oh my goodness, this is how I go about it all the time. No judgment, no criticism, be compassionate and loving towards yourself. I just want you to be empowered with some understanding and knowledge. So when we make a change, we try to change our thoughts, right? Now look, our thoughts, and you can see on the screen, there's a line through your thoughts because we have a 5% portion of our thinking that is conscious, new idea, creating, originating a new idea. So we do that 5% of our day. The rest of our thinking is actually a part of our subconscious encoding and programming that we recorded by the time we were 7 years old. So we try to make a change. We say, okay, I'm going to think better. I'm going to think positive. I'm going to think positive thoughts. And then we go to our emotions. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel confident. I'm going to feel empowered. I'm going to feel capable. I'm going to feel enthusiastic. I'm going to feel all these things. And then we engage our body. I'm going to have energy, and I'm going to feel relaxed and peaceful and energized and confident. And I'm going to take these actions and I'm going to follow through. and I'm going to do the things that I've never wanted to do and that have scared me, but I'm going to do it this time. We say these things, but these are originating new ideas, and we're coming at this change in a very particular way. And so we're trying to engage the actions, produce the results, but the results we end up getting either have no difference or they're very consistent to our previous experiences. So our life doesn't get exponentially better or different, mostly stays the same. So when we're making a change, we generally use the techniques that work for the conscious mind. We approach our subconscious and we knock at the door, hey, subconscious, let's make a change. And we do it through conscious faculties. We try to make the change through our thinking, our emotions, our feelings, our actions. It's like screaming at the subconscious, hey, I have something really important. I'm thinking different, I'm feeling different, I have different emotions, I'm taking different action. Listen to me, listen to me. And we're trying to yell at the subconscious mind over and over and over again to get different results. And what we get is disappointment, because it's not how the subconscious mind learns. It's not how the subconscious mind changes. So let's talk about how and what we need to do. We need to press the subconscious record button. We need to shift the habits and patterns and behaviors. We need to create emotional impact. Or we can get to the record button. We can press the record button. We can engage a process of super learning, and we can allow our desired program to be downloaded into our subconscious mind in minutes without the interference from the conscious mind, because our subconscious mind doesn't learn and make changes like our conscious mind. Now, it doesn't require repetition when you use super learning, and it doesn't require emotional impact. Isn't that cool? So, I mean, think about it. How do you create an emotional impact for yourself? Boy, that can be challenging. Usually our emotional impacts, when we're engaging them, they feel bad. And then how do we consistently engage in repetition? We have to engage in repetition 25 plus days for a new habit and pattern to lock in. Now, life happens and can really increase intensity. And when things get intense, I'm going to show you in a minute, your subconscious mind is all on a mission to get you back into the program. So you really got to push the record button. And oh my goodness, there is a way. Super learning, there are other techniques that allow you to get in, push the record button, and it's easier than anything that you've probably done so far. So before I share that with you, I want to give you some really key information about your biology. Now, we can see what I'm going to share with you at a cellular level. And you really are a combination, a community of cells that are covered by skin. So we can see this activity in one cell. We can see this activity in the community of cells. And then if we look at your behavior, we could map this out. I've actually done this with clients where we've mapped out their states and their movement subconsciously. And it's really fun to see that we actually have two basic states of being. And the first one is a state of love. A state of love. And the second one is a state of fear. So we have two states. We can simplify things. We try to list a bunch of emotions and a bunch of feelings, but we could put them into two columns, a column of love and a column of fear. Now, when we are in a state of love, scientists have studied how our system thrives when it grows. And they've isolated that when we are in a pure state of love, we are in our heightened peak expression of growth. We grow the most exponentially when we're in a state of love. Now, when we're in a state of love, there are some organs that turn on. And these are our vital organs, our viscera organs. Now, our viscera, part of our body where our heart, lungs, intestines, liver, pancreas, and many, many other organs, that is our viscera zone, our viscera organs. Now, our visceral organs are activated by the autonomic nervous system. They're turned on basically by our autonomic nervous system. And if you want to get specific, it's our parasympathetic. So when we're peaceful and we're calm and we're feeling empowered and when we're safe, those are all words that would fall into the beautiful love column. And that's when we grow. Now, when we are in a state of growth, we're bringing energy in. We're allowing energy from source, from God, from life, from our life force to flow in, and we are sending it out. Also, we're an open system where energy flows in and out, and in and out. Okay, so we bring in energy and everything that supports growth. Now, if a threat happens, we do something else. Immediately, a system triggers, and it's our body's adrenal hormone system, and it turns off the blood flow to our visceral organs, to our growth organs, to our vital life organs. Now, this is really important. Now, an example of this, where this fires and our adrenal hormones shut down the blood flow and turn off our visceral organs, or turn them as low as we can get them, is stress. Now, what happens when we go into stress? Well, our receptor sites change. They go into looking for stress. What is a threat? And it is a fear response. When we do this, even as at a cellular level, we shift from growth to protection. Now, think about when you go into protection, what do? You might wall yourself off. You might barricade yourself. You might withdraw. You might shut down. You might try to hide. Now, physically, when we go into fear and we go into protection mode, our blood flow goes to our muscles and our bones. So it goes to our limbs, gets us away from what's threatening us. Now, our autonomic nervous system shuts down parasympathetic, turns on sympathetic, and our blood flow moves into fight, flight, or freeze. That's why it goes into our limbs, to get us to safety. Now, this applies to your goals, but I wanted to show this to you so that you can understand how it applies to your goals. Now, growth is shut down. I'm not talking about just growth in your cells. I'm talking about growth for you as a life force. Shut down. Not available. The energy that is available outside of you, that's always flowing to and through you, that is blocked. What do? You're going into your own stores, pulling from your reserves as long as you can until you go into debt. Now, some of you can say, oh my gosh, that happened to me. I felt like that. Some of you might say, oh my gosh, I can look at my bank account and see that. Some others of you might say, oh, I can look at my relationships and see that. You might be able to look at your life as you've gone for your goals and the achievement of your goals, and you might be able to see this. Now, what happens is when you shut down growth, that moves through your thoughts, feelings, and actions into your results. You have no energy for the new. So what governs the love or fear automated response? It is actually your perception. Your perception. Now, what governs your perception? Your subconscious mind. It's part of your early life programming. It's part of your identity. Now, your goal was not originated in your subconscious. We think that our goals come from our subconscious. They don't. They come from our conscious mind. And our conscious mind is saying, I have a new idea. I have a new thought. I have a new feeling. I have new actions. Oh my goodness, this is going to bring benefit. This is going to bring value. This is awesome. But while your conscious mind is having that inspired desire and moment, you still have those programs running at a subconscious level that you created and that were really recorded and accepted in the first 7 years of your life. So this is important. Your new thoughts, your new desires, your new ideas, your new feelings, your new actions, the new goal does not match your existing program. So what happens? Is it going to move you into love, or is it going to move you into fear? What do you think? Well, if you chose fear, you're right. It does. It moves you into a subconscious response of fear. It's not conscious. Your conscious mind is going, hey, this is awesome. But your conscious mind is on the scene about 5% of your day, if at all. It depends on what you're doing during that 5% when you're consciously engaged, because your subconscious mind might be running the show while your conscious mind is busy. So you're in fear, and it's going to shut off growth. It's going to start pulling and closing the door and putting you into protection mode from anything that is growth oriented, because you're functioning outside of the subconscious program. And your entire program is saying, alert, alert, alert. I've got to move them back into into the program. I've got to get them into protection, get back into homeostasis, get back into the goal. Now, this affects our results. Our actions come and our results don't happen. When we want new results, there's an equation. We can grow as much as we do not have to mitigate protection. So our growth divided by our need to protect gives us the energy for the new results. So if we have 100% need to protect because our goal is 100% outside of our subconscious program, then we have zero energy for new results. That's what happens. So just play with that number. Okay. I've worked with entrepreneurs who are 80% engaged with their new goal. But when we've run it through an equation where we actually look at 3 different percentage codes, it ends up really saying, you know, the energy that's available for your new result is like 52%. You're 52% likely to achieve your goal. So it's, and that's somebody who's 80% in alignment. So it's a big deal. And please, at this moment, let go of all judgment for not having achieved your entire goal, a portion of your goal, a smidgen of your goal, or none of your goal. Let it all go, because you can do this. You can change your results, but you have to change your subconscious program. Because when you do, that's when you change the output. That's when you can get the new results you want to experience. So how do you change the subconscious program? There are many different methods, and this is where I want you to dial in. Again, you've learned today you cannot change your subconscious mind the way your conscious mind wants to go about it. So you cannot say, I'm just going to choose to think positive. I'm going to think. Because your thoughts are part of your subconscious program. So if you're consciously bombarding your thoughts, your habits and patterns of thought with new thought, you're going to increase the protection mode stimulation. You've got to actually shift the program that's producing the thought. Doesn't that sound more peaceful and easy? Well, it might seem really difficult, but it's actually easier than anything we're trying to do when we're consciously trying to change our subconscious. So here's one way. It's the way your subconscious programmed in the first place. It's a theta wave, a theta brainwave. And one of the key resources that it was the first thing I learned after studying cognitive behavioral psychology. I learned hypnosis. I learned hypnotherapy. I learned how to move from our beta activity brainwave into an alpha brainwave, into an alpha theta brainwave, and then to how to move into a theta brainwave. And I became trained and certified at a master level on how to help people do that, because all hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. And the benefit of a hypnosis expert, a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist, preferably a hypnotherapist, because their training is very extensive. And if you've got some challenges in your subconscious mind, they'll have resources to help you out. And I'm not saying anything about hypnotists. They're wonderful, wonderful. I just find that when you're working at subconscious programming, sometimes there's some painful experiences that might be part of that encoding. Okay, life was not all flowers, bells, and rainbows for people when they were early on in life. Not for everybody. Okay, some people had those, but not everybody did. So hypnosis, it'll allow you to get into the theta state. Now, to get into the theta state, you oftentimes might have to retrain yourself how to get into that state, how to move out of the over-revving beta wave that we go through our day, and how to move into that theta state. A skilled hypnotherapist can really help you do this. And if you're willing to dedicate the focus and the time, you can do this on your own. So you can work at a hypnosis level, get into that theta state, and shift your subconscious code. Next, repetition. I know it's challenging, but it works. It's how you learned your ABCs, or whatever it is in learning to read in your language. In English, we call them the ABCs. So your alphabet. It is how you learned your alphabet. You said your alphabet and then you messed it up. And then you started again. And then you got as far as you could until you messed it up again. And then you started again. And you just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it until you got it. That's repetition. And somebody in your environment, when you got it, they said, yay, you did it. That's emotional impact. Now, the same thing happened when you learned to walk. You walked, you took a step and fell. You took a step and fell. You took a couple of steps and you fell. And you took a couple of steps more and you fell. And you did this over and over and over again until you fell less and less and less and less and less. And every time you took a step, or quite frequently, somebody maybe in your environment said, wow, look at you, you're walking. Emotional impact. So repetition, emotional impact. You could do this. Ask somebody in your environment to cheer you on and to empower you and to celebrate every time you take one more step than you did before. And every time you mess up, you just get up and you keep going and you do it again. Now, statistically, 25 plus days is the beginning window. 25 to 30, I've actually read some studies that'll go to 23 to 27 is the window. So get yourself to 23 days of consistency and keep going until it clicks. Does it require time? Yes. Does it require focus? Yes. Now, this brings in what I showed you before about love or protection, because as you're doing theta work, as you're doing repetition, your subconscious mind is going to say, alert, 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 protect, protect, protect. And yes, there will be blocks. Yes, there will be, resistance. And if you know what it is consciously, once you figure out, you're starting to back away and engage in the old subconscious program, you can get back on track. It's kind of like when a baby falls and they start crawling again. And then they say, oh, wait, there's this walking thing I really want to do. And then they stand up. You see babies do this all the time. So just knowing what you know now, when the protection engages and the resistance is there, you actually know what it's about and why it's happening. Now, you're consciously going to be aware of it, but your subconscious mind is going to be working overtime to get you back into homeostasis. So there's one more way, and it's through super learning. Super learning is something that is amazing and very effective. So it allows you to get in and actually push the record button. I have seen brain scans where within minutes, the new neural network, the neuron itself shows up, it lights up, and then the pathways, the new neurological highways and connections start to fire and they wire together, and within 2 to 5 minutes, it's done. And once it's done, it's done. So that's something that is also an option. And these are really valuable tools. So what I want you to and I'm inviting you right here to say, okay, when it comes to my goals, I'm going to address them subconsciously. I'm going to allow my conscious mind to come second. Your conscious mind inspires you. It's the part of you that gets excited and has the new idea. And then you get about the subconscious work so that your new program that you create can and does produce the outcome you want. So how do you push the record button? Well, with super learning, which is the most rapid way I've seen so far, energy psychology is another one, you create a whole brain state. It's really a whole mind state because it's measured outside of your brain, not just in your brain. You can see it in your neural networks and your pathways, but you can see it in your heart. You can see it in your field around you. It's really dynamic, and it's extremely effective at helping you rapidly reprogram your subconscious. Now, the balance for the reprogram is complete within a few minutes, and you can see it through scans and activity within the mind body, and you can you can feel it and you can see it unfold in your experiences immediately following. I worked with a client that has had obsessive compulsive behaviors for a very long time. And we applied the super learning process for shifting the subconscious reaction where it would move them into protection and engage them in repetitious behavior. Now, this had been overwhelming them for 30 plus years, and nothing that they had done had worked. And within minutes, they were able to create the reprogram and the shift, and the behavior has not returned. It has been extinguished. And they've tried everything possible. So it's pretty cool. And that's something that is purely subconscious, because nobody would say that they want to stand at a light switch and switch it on and off for 10 minutes, so that nobody got hurt or died. That's not logical. That's not rational. That's not reasonable. That's unwanted, but they were unable to stop it. Conscious mind didn't work because it was part of their subconscious program. Now, this is an extreme example that is a psychology example, but it applies with goals. It applies with goals. I have a couple of testimonials that I'm going to share with you where people had contrary beliefs, where if you make money and you spend it, you're abusing your wealth and prosperity, and you're degrading other people, and that if you're not overly prepared for public speaking, you'll flop, you'll fail, and you'll humiliate yourself. And within minutes, they were able to shift those beliefs. So those are a couple of examples, but the result is successful speaking for this one person and wealth that doesn't dissipate in any way, no matter how much they quote unquote abuse it, by not hoarding and saving it. So the balance is complete, and the balance transforms any resistance or limitation into alignment and full potential. So super learning, energy psychology, those are options. And really my favorite that I've brought into my practice as a primary key resource, it's the thing that I begin with all clients, and it's a part of really the most enormous transformation I've ever seen, is a process called Psych K. The balance is actually concrete and the change is permanent. And it then allows the new thoughts that your conscious mind wanted you to have, all the positive thinking, well, you can actually have them, but not by consciously trying to have them. They're automatically showing up because they're aligned with your new subconscious program. The feelings, the emotions, those are also authentically showing up. The behaviors, the actions, those are all part of the new program, and they're happening. And what happens? The new result. Because your entire system, your entire program, your automated, systematic, habitual program is all in alignment with your desired outcomes and your results. So, I mean, goodness, there are countless examples and case studies and stories of people who have gone from no money to earning $10,000 within less than 30 days, from nothing. So they had a program of poverty into a program of financial, not only security, but $10,000 a month for some people is like, winning the lottery, exponentially going from 6 figures to 7 figures, healing health issues, psychological, mental health issues, going from relationship challenges into relationship well-being. So we're going to talk about this in a moment, but what happens with the new subconscious program is that you have a new identity, a new perception, a new awareness. You have the ability to make the new decisions because they're coming in an automatic format, an automated, beautiful, aligned way. You're going to have the new focus and attention, not because you're trying to build it, it's already built. It's done. So you're running your life through the efficient, effective program that's aligned with your result. And then you have new responses, you have new reactions, and the responses and reactions move you in alignment with your goals, your desires, your dreams, and your visions. And then you have the new actions, and the way that you perceive your environment and the way your experiences are stored are also in harmony with your new program and your new desired results. So with the new program, do you think you're going to move into love or fear? Well, you guys are so smart. If you said love, you're right. Because this program feeds growth. Everything that you're doing is inside the new program. It's part of your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is actually going to move you greater into growth mode, and your system will thrive. And this thriving system can and does produce the new desired outcomes, your new results. So once you've rewired your subconscious program, your new subconscious program is aligned with your results, the ones you want. Your identity actually matches the desired results. You've shifted your reticular activating system, so your perception and awareness now pick up everything aligned with your new result. And your thoughts, feelings, actions, emotions, everything aligned with your new result. So if everything is in alignment and you've released resistance, your efforts and your energy are going to be unrestricted and without resistance. So it's going to feel better. You're going to feel energized. You're going to feel a flow. That's one of the key things that I hear from my clients is like, wow, I have so much more energy. Right. Because you're not in internal program conflict. So when you release and you move from fear and protection and failure, and you shift your program, it allows you to move into love and growth. That is aligned with your goals and your results. Now, when you're aligned with your love, growth, goals, and results, what happens as you engage and you move forward, you have the new thoughts, the new emotions, new feelings, actions, everything is being pulled in from your environment that's in harmony with your love, goal, growth, results. So you move forward safely and you actually move forward without resistance. So you're accelerating. And it's really awesome because you get to have your results. So who does this work for? What does this work for? Well, it works for everything that I have seen it applied to. So career goals, life goals, health goals, relationship goals, performance goals, fears, limiting behaviors, visions and dreams, eliminating reactions and stress responses, you name it. I have seen it be successful. Who does it work for? I know a lot of people have difficulty with repetition and consistency. I know a lot of people that say, oh, it's so difficult for me to get into a theta brainwave. You know, I can't sit still for too long. But this process of super learning that I'm going to speak about specifically really works for individuals of any age, of any experience, whatever you're going through. If you're in a relationship, you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, you're a business leader, you're an athlete. This is what I've seen work. Now, can you use the other processes? Yes. So if you choose them, stick with them until they work. If you want something that is like hitting the record button and you can create shifts and alignment in minutes, then I encourage you to use a super learning technique like Psych-K and work with somebody who's trained in it. Now, what does this do? Well, we need to, and you know now that you need to change things at the subconscious program level. And then once you do, you have the new thoughts, the new emotions, the new actions, the new feelings, and you will also have the new results. All of this comes from the new program. And then whatever you run through the new program, you can strengthen, you can build, and you can move into acceleration. So here's our friend from South Africa that I mentioned earlier. A lot of money resistance, a lot of poverty consciousness. If you had money and you spent it on things that didn't have value for someone else or for, you know, something significant, you were abusing it. And so jokingly and in fun and from pure abundance, their testimonial is now, I am very wealthy. My money can't get finished no matter how I use it or abuse it. Another testimonial from someone that got, a spontaneous speaking gig. I was a keynote speaker at a recent event, and I'm usually a little nervous, and I can tell that I'm uncomfortable in that situation, especially if I haven't prepared as much as I'd like. The event came up fast, and I ran out of time to do any kind of speech writing or thorough prep. The morning of, I did a couple of balances, used the super learning process to stay calm and confident in a public speaking situation. The presentation went great. It was really neat to consciously observe the difference as it was happening during the speech. This one was fast, easy, highly effective, and I saw immediate results. Very cool. This one is really powerful, and this one actually comes from somebody very special to me. This is my daughter, and her testimonial is the fear is gone. In minutes of doing the balance, my fears and anxiety about volleyball tryouts and starting high school were gone. I felt peaceful, calm, and excited. Tryouts went really well. I made the team, and I started school with success. I love being able to do things with ease that used to scare me. And this was profound. This was a profound shift for her. And I would say that she was really, 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 really skeptical, but in a lot of discomfort and just wanted things to get better. So think about how many things that you'd love to do, but you keep avoiding because they scare you, or you keep avoiding because you're not prepared, or you keep avoiding because you don't want people to judge you. That's what these 3 testimonials are talking about, and their results are not unique to them. It's what you're capable of as well. Now you can go it, and I empower you. I really want you to take action. Now, it does not have to be with me, but if you want somebody to work with, I have put together a very special program because this is really my mission. And in the Successful Transformations program, this is not a group process. This is a one-on-one coaching program with me over 90 days. And there's a reason for that. Now, step one in working with me, if you want to work with somebody to transform these blocks and resistances into results, we're going to reprogram, rewire, rewrite your specific limiting subconscious beliefs. So we start off with a thorough assessment. We dial into what's going on, and then we shift it. And I'm not talking about we work on it, we shift it. Number two, step two, that often all happens in the same session, is we strengthen the new identity, the new thoughts, the feelings, the behaviors, the actions, everything that is now available in the new program, we strengthen it. And then we move into new options for activities, new actions, new strategies, and new opportunities to accelerate. Because once you have a new program, you're going to be able to do new things that you never thought you were able to do before. Kinder, gentler, easier is most frequently the path. So that's what we do. This program is you and I working together over 12 weeks. Okay. Actually, there's an orientation week, there's a strategy week. So this all in all is about 16 weeks. And we work together because we don't generally just go for one goal. You're going to go for multiples. But it's just like learning, like let's say you were driving a VW Bug, a car. And I love those cars. They're great. But boy, you're kind of rattling at 45 miles an hour. Now let's say you want a Ferrari. Okay, boom, let's shift and change. VW Bug becomes a Ferrari. That's great, but you're used to driving the Bug. So we want to get you into and develop the resources of the Ferrari. We want to get you into your goals and develop those resources and let you take off in the world. So you are going in a state of acceleration. And then we want to help you to be the most efficient and effective. And one goal may not actually be your true goal. So my excitement, my enthusiasm is to help you rock out and seriously learn who you are and become a master of your domain in your life in those 90 days, not just by achieving one goal, but through multiples. So you're going to get a private online orientation, private online program portal. Now remember, we're going to be meeting live one-on-one. Online, telephone, Skype, Facebook, that's all fine, whatever platform works for you. So you don't have to be local to me, but you also have an online portal because I want to empower you with amazing resources as you have these new programs that are there. You're going to get a personal subconscious program assessment so that we can really dial into specifically what's blocking your goals. We're going to do 12 weekly sessions. We're going to also have a monthly private pulse and strategy session so we can really dial into where are you at, where do you want to be? Okay, let's get you there and let's create the shifts. And then all of the program support materials along with weekly email coaching emails that you are able to send me, and then you and I interact. So the whole thing is about new results. Whatever it is that you want in your life, oh my goodness, I know you can have it. I'm going to throw in some bonuses too. Continuous reprogramming. So if you dial into any blocking, limiting belief or any program while we're working together, we're going to shift it. We're just going to shift it. It's never by accident, and it shows up and it can be reprogrammed. Bonus number two. Well, so to go back to bonus number one, there's no limit on what you can do while we're working together. And really after we're working together, I just really want to, like help you jump off of the starting block and really start being who you are. Bonus number two, you're going to have access to all of my other programs while we're coaching together. I'm going to open those up to you and you'll have access to them, and you'll gain membership of my Successful Transformation Coaching Program. And if you're on the line and you're part of the Attract Your Best Life membership monthly program, that'll be comped to you while we're in the program, and you'll get that as a bonus. So I have 15 spots that I've opened up. My team is trying to talk me into 20. Right now, I've opened up 15. I know that they're going to fill up fast, and I would love to have the opportunity to work with you. So on your screen, you can see that there is an offer and an opportunity, and I invite you right now to click on that link. Okay, so there's an offer, there's an opportunity, and I just invite you to say yes. If you have a question, if you're confused, if you say, oh, I don't know if this is right for me, then what I invite you to do is to send me an email at hello@beccaarmstrong.com, because the first thing that I want to make sure is that this program's right for you and it has what you're looking for. So we'll do a private free consultation. We'll talk about your goals, what it is that you want to achieve. If there's anything that you're wanting that I know that is not part of what we'll be doing together, I'm going to let you know. And I might give you a referral to something that is what you're looking for. But if this is connecting with you and you really are ready to transform your life, then I invite you, absolutely, go ahead and click the registration button. Say, yes, I'm in. If any of you are having any difficulty with that registration button, send an email immediately. Don't wait, because this is going to fill up, to hello@beccaarmstrong.com. Say, yes, I want in. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, because oh my goodness, the cost and the expense, energy-wise, lifestyle-wise, relationship-wise, everything is so unnecessary, and you can have your results and you can have them rapidly. We're going to be starting in the next couple of weeks the orientation segment. I'm going to start opening up for clients next week on September 5th. And then we're going to move forward. Again, this is a one-on-one program, so you're not curtailed to a schedule, but we are opening up, filling the seats, and getting started. So claim your seat, click the registration link that's part of this webinar. If for any reason you have any difficulty and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm in, send an email to hello@beccaarmstrong.com. Say, yes, I want to join the one-on-one transformation program, and then we'll get you in. Now, the first 5 clients, and I don't know, this might actually already be full based on, you know, who's enrolling right now, but the first 5 clients to enroll will receive my very special private life abundance strategy and shift session, and that's worth $500. So what's the investment? Let's talk about it. This is an investment. This is not a fee. This is not a cost, because I know what's costing you is not having your goals, not living your goals. That's the cost. So this is the investment in opening up and unlocking your subconscious. It is $33.50. There is a payment plan. You can do 2 payments of $16.75. That's totally fine. You get to choose on the enrollment form. You know, you just select the option. And if you want to do a full pay, you get an additional discount that brings it down to $3,000. All you have to do is click the registration link. It'll take you to the registration page. If you have questions, you want a consultation, or you've just got something you need, email me directly at hello@beccaarmstrong.com. And again, the first 5 clients will get their abundance strategy and shift session with me. And that's an additional private session. All right, I look forward to working with you. It's been a very, very profound pleasure to share this information with you. And let's get you started. Your time is now. Your subconscious mind has the ability to reprogram, rewire. And once you do, you'll see the acceleration of your results. And that's just super fun. It's what you're here to do, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't want what you want. So reach out to me, click the registration button. Let's get you started. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with you. Take good care.